We are spitting rhymes this afternoon straight from the mic because April is National Poetry Month. And here to share their heart on the Studio 10 stage with us is Khanyi and Claire, MSU poets. How are you ladies?
Good. Doing good.
It is so great to have you both here this afternoon. And you guys are both a part of the MSU Slam Poetry team. But talk to us about your introduction to poetry. Khanyi, can you tell me about yours?
I think with a Slam Poetry team at MSU, I think when I came in, I always knew I loved writing. And I started writing when I was in like 7th grade, but that was like for class projects and stuff like that. So I didn't know that it was something that I would end up doing on stage and performing. And then that started to grow throughout high school. And yeah, when I came to America, because I'm an international student, when I came to America, I quickly found out about MSU Slam Poetry team and Slam Poetry Club. And yeah, I just started like performing at the club meetings, and then eventually did my open mic through them as well. So yeah, I've been with them now for about 3 years.
I started writing poetry because I couldn't finish like short fiction stories, and I would want to move on to the next idea when I was younger. But same with Khanyi. When I came to MSU, I knew I wanted to take it a little more seriously, and I found the club, and then from there we were fortunately introduced to like the greater Lansing scene and one another, and then we got to all perform together. So it kind of just snowballed from there. But
I love that. And I love that both of your experiences, they both kind of started out of writing, and you found out, hey, there's another avenue where I can take this. Now, why is poetry such an important art form? I know it's a great hobby for people, but talk to us about that.
There's like an authentic way of like expressing yourself that just comes, and it feels amazing. It feels like sometimes it's the only way you can say something, and I feel like that's what poetry feels like a lot of the time. Is sometimes you get on stage and you're like, oh, this is the perfect context to say this, the perfect context to feel this, and it's like so easy to express it. So I think it holds a lot of power in that form where people can feel comfortable enough to like express things that sometimes can only be expressed that way.
There's not a lot of rules to poetry, which is a wonderful thing about it. And I think a lot of people can be intimidated by how they should be expressing themselves or what they feel like they need to say versus kind of just doing what feels best to them. So I think I mean, we're biased, but I think it's the best, best way to go.
Absolutely. And Claire, I love that as well. The fact that there's no rules, there's no boundaries. You can express yourself in any way, shape, or form. And you touched on this as well, that now you guys are actually a part of the poetry scene out here in Lansing. So Claire, can you start? Tell us about your experiences with the 517 Poetry Room.
The 517 Poetry Room has been one of the greatest unexpected things from my college journey. I think it has been so valuable to have been introduced to that space. So what it is, for those that don't know, it's an open mic in Lansing, and we move around to different locations. We're primarily located at the Robin Theater in Riotown, and it's just such a wonderful community of all kinds of people. It's been awesome. We do open mics there. We've been invited to like slam shows there, which has been awesome, and it's just been a great way to connect, bridge the gap between student poetry and then kind of more that community space. A lot of people I've heard struggle with, finding community post a college space or a class or something like that. So it's been a really excellent way to meet people kind of while we're still here.
It's just been amazing. I think the Poetry Room is a very special place. I think every time a guest comes or every time we have like a guest poet come, they're always like, this is a special space and you guys don't know how lucky you are. And I think it just speaks to the authenticity, the excitement about new poets. Every time someone's at an open mic and they've never performed before, there's just that excitement about, wow, she's finally doing it, or he's finally doing it, finally growing. So I think it was just a great place to start, a great place to progress, to get better. I think we've grown so much since we started. We've met so many amazing people. So.
That is wonderful. So. And with that being said, we're going to watch and get a little bit of a taste of how much you guys have grown coming up after the break. Make sure you stay with us because we have a performance on our Studio 10 stage. Stay with us.